My chariot awaits behind me here, the IBF Hydrus 3.7 metre air deck, and I must say, even after a year of heavy use, I've lost count the amount of times I've been out on this boat now. I'd say it's well over 50. It looks just as good, if not better, than when I bought it. Look at that. Fully kitted out. We've got the Tohatsu, 20 horsepower 4-stroke on the back there. Rod holders with the lures ready there. Our bench seat, and for the keen-eyed amongst you, you'll spot a brand new fish finder unit. Picked that one up from the inflatable boat fishing store online from Carlo. Thanks for the great service, Carlo. That's the Striker 5 Vivid, so that should give me a good idea of what's going on beneath me. Got it mounted on the battery box. Big cool box there, hopefully we can fill that with fish. All the dry bags, fitted with all the gear, keeping it nice and dry and safe. Everything tied down up here, stop it sliding back, keep the weight up the front. Got our landing net tucked in, and a nice little area in the middle there, a nice seat to fish and move around. We can sit on the cool box. So yeah, that's it all set up. Keen fishing machine that. Get out a few miles today, see what we can catch, hit the reefs, try some lures, live bait. Be interesting to see. I reckon we could be within the chance of some bass and pollock, but what else I don't know. day will tell. It's a bit misty, but it will clear up, I'm sure. Contending with a slight offshore breeze, but these things can handle it. Well, we're about 2 miles out now, and as you can see, we're surrounded by lovely rocky pinnacles. And you know me by now, I love to fish these sort of areas where you've got a bit of tide flow coming through. Look at it here, it must be ripping through at about 2 to 3 knots. And you know, where there's features, there's fish. And in these sort of environments, you're bound to get pollock and bass mixed in with all sorts. And yeah, it's just the perfect environment to fish from a SIB. You've got a bit of tide running, but that's just great. Come back to the rod rack here, and we'll bring out the new addition to the fleet, the H2O Nebula soft plastic. This is the 8-foot version, 7 to 45 gram casting range. I picked this one up from Osborne and Craig in Plymouth. Thanks for sorting me out with that one, guys. I'll tell you what, if there was a rod that was designed for the sort of fishing I do, this would be it. You've got a vertical rating of 160 grams, so you can bounce those jigs and hard plastics off the bottom, as well as fish jigs and soft plastics off the bottom, as well as bouncing and casting those hard plastics and soft plastics in locations such as this. So we're just going to clip on straight away here. We've got our fluoro leader with a breakaway quick link, and we're just going to clip on a fish crazy eel with the paddle tail there in a nice natural khaki pattern. I love this lure for this sort of fishing because it just screams natural sand eel. What we're going to do is we've nestled ourselves in between these 2 lumps of rock here. As the tide, as it always does on the north coast, it flows out down through the Bristol Channel on the way out, so it's going down that way. So we're going to position ourselves just ever so slightly up tide, like that. Cut the engine off, come over to the sounder here. So we'll just let that settle, and you can see we're in about 5 meters of water. I've got it on the split view here. We've got traditional on this side and the clear view on the other, just because I'm a bit old school. I do like the traditional, but the clear view is very useful as well. So we're not in particularly much water. In fact, I can see the bottom here. Just gotta whip that black eel out like that. Tell you what, that's a 20 gram lure, and this Nebula just casts it a treat. It's not particularly deep here at the moment, so we're just going to focus on a straight retrieve. We're not letting it sink much at all, we don't need to. And we're just hoping that there's a bass in amongst this flow somewhere, picking off sand eel and mackerel. Give it a little chance to sink. Where they'll be, we'll have to find out. We're starting off with just casting and retrieving lures here, because we just got out. As the day goes on, it's a little bit grey now, but it should clear up. As the day goes on, we might find ourselves switching. There we go, go upstream. We might find ourselves switching to techniques such as live bait. So we'll have a little competition today, I think. See what does better, live bait versus the lures. See what we pick up the better fish on. I got a feeling it will be live bait. It's a bit of a faff though, you know, catching live bait, sorting all that out can be a bit of a faff. So I've just started off with lures, just see what's about, and then we know. We'll take that Garmin unit there. Quite nice to see what you're fishing over. Happy days. Oh, quite quickly there into our first fish on that black eel. Oh, it's a decent one, I think. There's a fair bit of weight behind that. Tell you what, this Hydro Nebula, there we go, first fish on it. That's already proven a nice rod to battle a fish with. Nice bit of bend in the tip there. But God, this buck section is absolutely solid. I don't know what it is yet. It could be a bit of a bassy fight, but yeah, there it is. First fish to the boat for the day. It's only a schoolie, but lovely to see. Grab her by the lip. Oh, it absolutely engulfed that crazy eel. Look at that. Dark colours on it, and only a small fish, but beautiful nonetheless. There we go, first fish of the day. Set in the back. Well, there we go, on the I'm a Hound glide here, right at the boat. Almost dropped me rod then. God, I got to concentrate. It took it right in front of me. It's a pollock. It's popped off there, but that was actually a pollock. Wow. Not a bass. I could see a big shoal of fish high up in the water on the sounder there. I thought, oh, what's that? That's just about within reach of the glide, and it's pollock. God, tell you what, I'm popping off this morning. Well, here we go on the glide here. I'm a Hound glide. We're into a fish just by the structure. It's staying quite deep. I wonder if it's pollock. Oh, it could go on a little dive in a minute. Come up. What have we got? Yeah, look, a pollock on the shallow diver, and it's not a bad fish either. Come on. Right, that's that out. Let's get him back. There we go. Great stuff. Well, there we go. We're into another fish. This time back on the fish crazy eel. Great fun today. We're right at the slack tide here now, and I've just come to the back of the reef, fishing the part where it drops off to a little bit deeper, just casting along and bringing that sound limitation close to the bottom. So even on the slack tide, the fish is still feeding. This could be a slightly better fish than what we've had so far today. Let's have a little look. What is it? Yeah, it's a nice bass. Get to the side of the boat. Ooh! I love it when they take off like that at the last minute. Still got fight. Could be a better fish, that. Yeah, it's a lovely fish. Great fun on this H2O Nebula soft plastic here. A perfectly balanced outfit paired with that pen slammer for this sort of fishing. Let that fish tire itself out. We got the net at the ready here. These are in. The only risk you do have with a soft lure like the crazy eel is that they have a tendency to pop off the hook at the last minute with that single. You get the right angle and it will just pop out. Let's glide that fish in. There we go. Back of the net. Alright, rest it on the cool box. Avoid damaging the tubes. Yeah, oh, it popped out there. See what I mean by that hook can just pop out sometimes. I've grabbed that fish in the mouth there. So that's what it's taken. A rather mangled crazy eel. Lovely bass there. Let's get a measurement. Calm down. Right, that is 46, I'd say. That is just on the line on the top lip there from the fork. So that's a beautiful bass. Beautiful bar, great fun. We're going to get this one back. I've already got one for the table tonight. I do keep fish just because I love eating them, and I think it's a very sustainable way to enjoy seafood. Catching your own, probably the best. Well, it is the best, let's be honest. So we'll get this beautiful bar back. Pleasure to catch it. What I'll do is I'll pop you off there. Right, there it is. Let's get her in the water. Well guys, I sort of given up with the live baiting. I just couldn't get it right. I've come back on the lures straight away. I'm into a really decent fish here. I tell you what, this is the best fish I've had in a little while. Whatever it is, it feels bassy. It's gone on some tremendous runs. I was faffing around trying to get the camera ready, but it was just screaming the whole time. This is a good fish, guys. I really hope I can get it. I'm getting close to some rocks. The tide's rushing in. We're going to approach some shallow ground. Got to tighten up on that drag a bit. Whoa! This is a good fish, guys. Come on, come on, come on. Isn't that crazy? I'm just worried about that hook hold. I'm getting into shallow ground. Come on. I can see it now. This is a great fish. This is a great fish. It's at the front of the boat. It's coming up. Right, I'm going to get the net ready. Hopefully I can get her in it. Oh, come on, come on. Oh, wow. Oh, I don't know if you can see that yet. That's a huge bass. Hang on a minute. Oh, wow. Look at that. I tell you what, there I was going on about live bait, picking out the bigger fish. That's a fantastic bass. Absolutely chuffed with that. That's one of the best fish I've had in a long time. Let's pop that hook out, and there it was on that crazy eel. We're going to come into some turbulent area here. We're just coming over some shallow ground. What a fish! So that's on the turn of the tide there. The incoming. Get that over there. Get the rods out of the way. Bear with me a second. Oh. Trying to sort myself out. Oh, look at that. What a bass. It's huge. Well, you know I like to do things on my channel. I like to release big bass, especially ones like this. You know, that's a great fish. You could keep that. Be well within your rights to. But I'll get far more enjoyment out of watching that swim away than I will eating it. I've already got one around the 46cm mark anyway, which I enjoy very much. So to keep this would just be a bit greedy. I ain't got anyone to feed with it. I'd rather see it go back. I'm just holding it by the gill, reviving it, just letting it get some water back. It's been out of the water for a little bit of time, and you know, it's put a lot of energy into that fight. If you just let them go straight away, they don't always revive too well. If you give it a fighting chance and let it recover itself a bit, then it'll go back a lot better. I'll try and get the underwater cam on it for you, because I know they're always nice shots. I want to show you how I'm working this lure here, the fish crazy eel. I'm just casting it upstream slightly. You know, I'm not going bang up, I'm just going to the side slightly. Letting some line out. We're in 16 meters on the sonar, going up to 14. It's going to get shallower, so I'm letting a bit of line out, letting it sink, because it's only a 20-gram head. I want it mid-water. There we go. Slam the bail arm across, let it settle. It's just a steady retrieve. Okay, every now and then give it a few twitches, and then let it sink for a little bit. You only need 2 or 3 seconds. Just let it get down in the water a bit more. I get so many people asking me, oh, you know, can you recommend me a spot, and oh, would you take me out fishing and things like that. And I would love to help you guys, but the thing is, you've got to do your own work. I mean, as with all things, you know, as with all activities and sports and stuff, fishing is the same. The more time you put into it, the better you'll get at it. I go fishing probably on average once a week at least. I mean, I know I've been out on this boat over 50 times in the last year, so yeah, do the maths on that. And I used to be pants at fishing. I used to struggle to catch whiting on a good day. And it's only through coming out and putting in the hard work, finding the spots, but not necessarily, it's not all about the spots, it's finding how to fish them, okay? So what lures work at the right time? One lure won't work all the time. I usually love my black minnows. Today they're not working, but this crazy eel is instead. It's about finding what's going to work on the day for you. Working out how you're going to fish it, in around what areas. There's lots of variables, and if you just think one thing not right, you won't catch fish usually. You know, sometimes you will get lucky, and that's the thing about fishing. I think that's what attracts a lot of people to it, is you can go out and get really lucky and catch a great fish on your first session. If you've got a hook in the water, anything's possible. But to go out and have consistently good fishing, you've got to do a lot of work. And I mean, there's so much information out there on the internet, on YouTube videos and forums and websites and Facebook groups. There's so much information. It's more than what I can tell you, and it's going to be more useful to you. That's how I started getting into it, looking at forums and YouTube videos, and then putting that into practice, but putting in the hours. You cannot go out and expect to catch lots of fish in your first few sessions. You might, but don't expect it. Once you come out and put years and years of hard work into it, then you might start to expect to catch a few fish, but don't be disappointed if you don't, because it's not always the way. It's a hell of a lot of fun though, learning as you go, and that's the best way to do it. Learn your own ways. Don't try and copy what everyone else does, okay? Don't expect an easy way into it, because that's just not how it works. Put the hard work in and you'll reap the rewards. As I'm finding out more and more recently, only recently have I really gotten into the sort of nitty-gritty bits of fishing and learning the sort of the finer sides of different techniques and stuff, and finding how I like to fish on a boat like this, on a SIB. I mean, a lot of the techniques that I use on this SIB probably wouldn't work on a bigger boat. I mean, there's a lot of techniques which you could use on a bigger boat that wouldn't really necessarily work on a SIB, and vice versa. Spots you can fish and spots you can't fish. So just find out what works for you, where you are based, what you can fish from and what you can fish with. Put a lot of time into it and you will catch fish. That's my best advice, and that's free. Well, you won't believe this, but I've just hooked into another good fish. Oh, exact same method. It's not as big as the last one, but I tell you what, I don't think it's a bad fish at all. Coming into this flow here, hey, there we go. Yeah, this isn't a bad fish. Ooh. Let's see what we got here. Yes. Oh, happy days. Yeah, it's a lovely bass again. Another lovely bass. I'll get her up from the camera. Really dark fish, this. Hopefully she doesn't pop off. Come here. Come on. Guys, look at that. Another nice fish. That's a dark one, that is. Really beautiful sort of bronze coloration to it. And now it's all over me deck. Right. Lovely fish, guys. Let's get her unhooked, get her back, and get some more. What a great session it's turning out to be. All on the lures as well. So yeah, forget live bait, just stick to lures, because they catch all the fish. Well, I think it's about time for me to call it a day. I'm absolutely knackered. It's been a long one. I thought the sun would be shining by now, but it's just been a bit cloudy all day, so I don't know what happened there. But the fish turned up, so I'm not too fussed about the sun. And we had some great ones, didn't we? I mean, that 60cm bass, God, it is great when you catch one like that. It just sort of like, it sparks that sort of fire inside of you to keep going and keep fishing, because you never know when a fish like that will turn up, and it's so much fun catching it and then putting it back and watching it swim away. What a process. And I've got a few fish for dinner. Got a bass, nice bass, and some mackerel. Mackerel turned up in the end, so happy days. Yeah, it wasn't much of a comparison between live bait and lures, because I didn't have a single fish on the live bait, and all my fish fell to lures today. So yeah, think of that what you will. Sometimes the simple methods can be the best. So thank you very much for joining me today. As always, I really appreciate all the views, likes and subscribers. I really appreciate you guys, and I hope that you learn from these videos. I know I get a lot of comments from people saying that they do, and it makes me really happy to see that every single time. So yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying it, and yeah, see you on the next one. Won't be long. Cheers.